can't remember. Is it just Tony? Okay, Tony. And I met Tony and Barrett, his beautiful wife, and their 4 kiddos, a few years ago. But I want to say something about Tony. 3 years ago. 3 years ago. The first year, just going to get back into sales, Gene. Just going to get back into sales, going to make it work. Then he calls me, I can't remember, a year later or something, says, okay, this rev share thing, I got to do it, right? I got to do it. Can you help me do this? I've never recruited before. Yeah, man, let's go. And I've seen you grow. And here's the thing I like about Tony. He's willing to learn. He's not so into, you know what I mean? Sometimes people they're not willing to learn what they have to do. And he's the kindest gentleman I know. He's got a beautiful golf swing. Sorry, Brent. Not like you and me. He's got a beautiful golf swing. Let's give it up for Tony Kawagushi again.
Thanks, bro. I'm not the speaker, so you clap for the wrong guy. So when Brent asked me to speak, I said, well, actually, I have like a couple amazing agents, so let's have them speak. I'll just ask them some questions. So my friend Tina here sells, I think, about 50 homes a year. She's not from Hawaii. She moved to Hawaii and built a business. Doesn't have a team. Does it with just her and a friend, 50 homes a year in a small market in West Oahu called Ewa Beach. And she is actually the #1 agent there. Focuses mostly on listings. Also, she and her husband are MMA fighters. So don't mess with her. Tina Marie, now, used to be Garcia, now Gamble. All right. So she has a little clicker thing. So I'm just watching. We don't need to see my family picture there. Green button, big green button. The big green one is not a planet. I don't know why that's there. That's a stock photo of somebody.
Family. Can y'all hear me? Is this one good?
That came with the frame.
Right here? Okay,
all right.
Cool. Awesome. That's Tony's beautiful family.
Thanks.
And I just want to,
Why did you throw that in there?
Just because I think everyone should get to know you.
Okay. Yep. So. I'm the ugly green one in the middle.
All right.
And so let's see your family.
Okay, so that's my family in the top left corner, and in the bottom right is my business partner Sarah's family.
You just got married?
Yes, my new last name is Gamble, so like poker, Gamble. So if you look me up for MMA, though, it's Tina Marie Garcia. And honestly, right now, I feel like I'm about to step into the octagon talking to all you people, so bear with me here.
She will beat all of you, though.
It feels like, woo, the blood rushing. I'm excited to be here, though. Everyone that has spoken has just been truly inspirational. Yesterday was a big tearjerker between Phil and Shireen's stories. And I feel like the word of this event is pivot. So I thought I'd share a little bit of how I got into real estate and why I'm a real estate agent to just kind of let y'all know what drives me and motivates me every day. So growing up, most people dream of being astronauts, lawyers, doctors, but I wanted to be like my grandma, my Momo as I called her. She was a real estate agent, and when my parents were busy making ends meet, I'd go to work with her, had a little camera, and I would take photos with buyers. I was thinking I was taking the listing photos, whatever it was. I felt so important. She really integrated me into her life because she had me on weekends, and real estate agents work weekends, and it was truly incredible. Fast forward, my parents went through a really rough divorce in my high school years, and I bought a one-way ticket to Hawaii. I said, I'm out of here, I'm moving to Hawaii. Came with 2 suitcases, bought a skateboard when I got here. I would skateboard and catch the bus, lived in the central part of the island and worked as a waitress in Waikiki. I just made ends meet, and I would go visit family every year. I just knew I was gonna stay. I just felt like I was 19, and I just knew that Hawaii was my place to be. The Aloha spirit ran hand in hand with the Southern hospitality that I was raised in Texas, Tina from Texas. And I just was so happy getting out and enjoying all the activities that Hawaii had to offer, and I loved the people, the culture, everything about it. So fast forward, I moved here in 2011, fast forward to 2014, my grandma, my Momo, went through a lot of scans and different things, and we found out that she had pulmonary fibrosis, and unfortunately she passed away at 64 as a real estate agent. And it wasn't until I was at her funeral, and at the time I was in school to be a physical therapist. I was like, I want a job that will help people. I really want to serve people. And I didn't really realize how much you could serve people as a real estate agent. I saw her do it, but it just didn't really hit me in my adult years. You know, I moved to Hawaii at 19, and so I just was looking for that physical helping job in physical therapy. So when I was pursuing that, they said you had to get a doctorate to be a physical therapist. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of money. I'm on my own. You know, like I was skateboarding and catching the bus to and from work still. I'm like, I don't know how I can do this. I was paying my way out of state tuition at University of Hawaii and just like making ends meet, but living my best life. I was so tan. The surfers in the water were like, oh sis, we thought you were from here until you said y'all. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I got the tan going on, but not the lingo. And so at her funeral, people got up and spoke, and just lots of people grabbed the mic, and they were just saying how much she helped them. She helped them go from we were in Texas, so she helped them get their immigration paperwork. She helped them become a citizen. And then she helped them get their first job, which a lot of times was live-in nanny, housekeepers, the big thing in Texas. Then they were able to get their first home and then buy a bigger home, and they were providing for their families. She really was an all-around phenomenal woman, and all I ever wanted to do was be like her. She was my hero growing up. She's still my hero to this day, and I am so thankful that I am following in her footsteps today with real estate. And a few weeks ago, I found out one of my friends in the industry on Oahu passed away. She had an aneurysm, and it was very heartbreaking. But I know that she went up to heaven, and she told my momo, Tina is doing exactly what you wanted her to do. She is practicing. She is out there giving people the love and care that you did and carrying on your legacy. And that just gives me my why every day to get out here and help people. I help my clients. They become my island family. 100% of my business now is based on my sphere referrals, past client referrals, because I treat them so amazing. Mind you, I moved here. When I started real estate, the people that I knew were waitresses, and they weren't claiming all their tips right to be able to buy houses. So I had to start from scratch to get where I am today. I don't skateboard anymore. So yeah, I just thought I would tell y'all a little bit about my story so y'all can see. And I feel like a lot of us have gone through a pivot in our lives. Like you heard some of the stories yesterday that really wake you up and make you want to chase what you feel like you were called to do. And I feel like in 2014, that situation really woke me up, got me. I said, you know, I'm just going to try real estate. I'm just going to try it and see if I can do this. And then from there, I'll be able to pay for physical therapy school. And going to the next slide, big green button. You can see a little bit about my trajectory. I started on my 25th birthday in 2016. I didn't make a dime for 6 months. And then the remaining 7 months of 2017, I did $7 million in 7 months. The next year I did 13. The next year I got a really good mentor. And I really got to learn how to be authentically me in this business, and my sales doubled. They grew, and then I've remained consistent at 50 million for the last couple of years. And then
50 million. Oh, I thought that was 50 sales. 50 million. Wow. So when you moved to Hawaii with no contacts, I did the same thing, by the way. But now, it's not like you're not doing internet leads. I mean, you get a little bit of business from social media, and I really want to know how you have built this business in the short time you've been in Hawaii, not being from here at all.
I would say truly, like we've all been saying, like being your authentic self, just really being my authentic self, having the morals and values from what I was raised with from my momo, and going out there and really treating these people like my island family, you know, spoiling them, showering them. You know, closing day for buyers is so exciting. It's like, especially buying your first home, and we really make that an experience. We actually hire a videographer, and he comes on closing day and makes a whole cinematic video. It costs hundreds of dollars, but it's worth it. It's so worth it to give them that experience. They show their friends and family, and they've got closing day pictures with the balloons and everything. They got a cinematic video showing off their new home, not just the Zillow link. It's exciting. I really feel like getting out there and just being myself, getting to know these people individually, makes them feel like they are a part of my island family. And in return, I've heard clients say, I feel like I'm giving my friends a disservice if I don't recommend you to be their real estate agent.
Yeah, they're like, don't give it to Tony. He's terrible. That guy's no good at all. All right, so now if you live in Hawaii, if you live on Oahu, like you know Tina in real estate, and I've had so many people ask, like, how do you get there? I don't know where to start. So let's talk about the keys to your success over the last few years. You started at 20...
On my 25th birthday
25,
was training.
Right, which actually that's when I started. Just took me 25 years longer than you. Hard work. I know you and Justin are like the two hardest workers in my life in real estate. I actually encourage you both to work less, and you both laugh at me. But I tell you that all the time. So talk about your work schedule, like what you're doing every day, how you're building so much business.
I love this because I actually am really proud to say I am now a morning person. Okay, raise your hand. Who are the morning people in this room? Who's up before 6 a.m.? There we go. All right. So I love it. I love it. I was never that person until I had my baby Gianna. She's a little over 2 now, and I felt like I wanted to run my schedule and be a more proactive real estate agent. So I wake up at 4:30 in the morning, and I get about 3 hours of work done before she even wakes up. When she wakes up, with my husband being a professional fighter and a little bit more flexible schedule, we spend a couple hours of family time. And then from there, I get right back to work, and then I get a few hours again of family time before bedtime, and go to bed at about the same time as my toddler to wake up that early. I really value sleep. So I feel like being a morning person, as all of you probably know, it's like so peaceful in the morning, and you can get so much done, and time blocking throughout the day and organization is really key. Being a serial learner is really key too.
Let's talk about that serial learning thing. What kinds of things have you learned in the last few years? What courses have you taken?
Organization. In fact, let me see if that's the next one. I got some things
think
up
so.
there.
Well, maybe not.
We can go.
It's all right.
there,
Just
though.
talk about it.
Okay. So
What have you learned?
I was like, can we go back and forth on this? Yeah. Okay. So, all right. I'm gonna jump forward to some of the stuff. Okay, so some of my main tools for growing and managing business is spreadsheets. I'm a big spreadsheet person. As much as I'm a people person, yes, thank you. There's always got to be one in the on the team and stuff, or you hire somebody to do it. But as much as I'm a big people person, I am really big into spreadsheets, organization. When people are like, I don't know how many homes I sold or the volume I sold, I'm like, I know every month. I know what my next month's probably going to look like. Like, I am monitoring it because I use vision boards to track my goals. We use Monday.com. Okay, if you scan this QR code, hopefully your phone's on silent, but I really believe in systems. If you scan that QR code, it's going to take you to one of my recent Instagram posts. It's actually a funny bloopers video of me and my business partner, Sarah. And if you just comment the word referral, you'll see you're going to get an automatic direct message from me. This is a service called Mini Chat. You're going to get an automatic DM from me. It's going to invite you to be a referral partner. So I do encourage you all to do this, so that way I can get your contact information. And if I have a buyer or seller in your area, I would love to connect with you. So things like Mini Chat, Flowdesk.
What's Monday.com?
Monday.com is a great system where you can organize everything with your team. I think it's like Asana, as some people may use as well. But it helps you, it has triggers that can automate. So once listing docs are signed, you can check off done, and then it may automate to somebody on your team to do the next step. And then once this step is done, it'll automatically give people notifications of what to do. It is a really great system. And then, as Dylan has preached for a couple of years at this event, templates are key. You should not be writing emails twice. Using templates are really incredible. I actually learned that in my first year of business, and that has been a huge key to my success. Oh my gosh, see? I was like, we can go back. I'm going back.
All right. Let's go back to, can we skip to the C21?
Yes, of course.
All right. So I just want to say that before I met Tina, I was intimidated by her. I had never met her. Now, think about how dumb that is. How many of you are somewhat intimidated of people you've never met? Like, I totally was. I was like, oh my gosh, she's such a powerful listing agent, or she's a boxer, so she'll kick my butt if I say something dumb. I didn't know. And we had transactions together maybe over time. I remember one time we had a cancellation. I had to cancel or something. Or no. You wrote an offer on one of my listings, and I said, oh, I'm sorry, it didn't work out. And I was like, I was writing it like shaking. I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope she's not mad at me. We didn't accept her offer.
I looked in Realist to see where he lived, No, I'm just kidding.
I'm like, I'm going to be on her blacklist. But somehow I met you through a friend of a friend, agent, and then the first time I met her, I was like, oh, she's actually super nice. And I never thought in 100 years that we would have sponsored Tina to be in our organization. And man, that's just another lesson. Same with Justin. It's like there's all these people that you think like, oh, they'll never come. I shouldn't call them. It'd be so stupid. It's like, okay, right now, pull out your phone and text that person, whoever came to your mind, because you're wrong. Half the people I've sponsored I thought would never come. Now this one, you were at C21. You were their top producer. She was the #1 producer every month. It was so annoying that they actually stopped awarding her every month. And they would say, this person's #2 this month. And they would have parties for #2. True fact? Correct?
We're on Instagram Live.
Okay. I'm not making that up. They would say, all right, so Tina and Sarah #1. #2 is this person. Yay! And that's how they would do their company meetings. So why would you ever leave C21 and come to eXp Realty?
So there's a quote by Maya Angelou, if y'all are familiar with the famous poet and philosopher. I love her. Do the best you can until you know better. When you know better, do better. And that was it. My grandma, my momo, was with Century 21, and I felt so proud to be at C21. It really felt like I was honoring her in so many ways. And it wasn't until I was pregnant with my daughter that I really started to think about the franchise fees that I was paying, and who I did sign up under, just kind of was really pouring into me and never pressured me about joining, but just told me, what you spend on franchise fees, not your broker split, but what you spend on franchise fees alone could have been a down payment for your daughter. I was like, oh my gosh, I really got to think about my family. I got to think about, like, I'm going to be a mom. Like, I have to not just think about what's coming into my pocket, but what's going to be contributing to my family. And so I felt like that was a big wake-up change, and I really love that quote because at that time, I heard Brent's story earlier about when everyone hears about the EXP model explained, they're like, wow, why didn't I listen to this sooner? And you just start jumping and eager to sign up. And I had just had a newborn, I think, at the time that I met with Tony, so it took a little bit of time, but selling $50 million again, I made a lot more money last year than I did the year before doing the same amount of sales in a down market. So that is such a blessing. Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah, by the way, that's a great lesson. The agent that is selling so much that you're intimidated is the exact one who needs EXP. Just go, how much are those franchise fees, dude? Oh, really? 50 grand? That's fun. That's how much stock you're going to get from. All right. So this year, it's starting to pick up now. You sold 50 million last year. What are we going to do this year? What's your goal, and what are you trying to do this year?
So my business partner and I, Sarah, want to help 100 families. And then the big scary goal this year, and I'm really putting it out there now for all of you to know, now that we've sold 50 million 3 years in a row, we'll be launching a course called 5 to 50 million. And it's going to teach agents a lot of things that I wish I knew when I was scaling my business about leverage and scaling and systems and templates and just the organization skills you need to be able to sell more and achieve, just have more time too. As we've heard, you really need to value your time and you can't get time back. So I want to be able to be a blessing to others and share some of the tips and tricks that have helped me get to where I am today without all the pain and suffering that I went through with organization.
You know what I love about that is she didn't say I want to sell double or triple. She's now going to be giving to agents and growing her revenue share because she sees this is the max I can do in sales without losing more time. And I told her, I said, hey, your baby's 2. Before you know it, she'll be 20 and out of the house. Ask me, I got 4. But you did bring in a partner. You brought in Sarah 2 years ago. That should be next. Sarah's not here because she's manning the fort in all your listings and closings. So when did you hire her? Why?
I've got a great story about Sarah. So Sarah was one of my clients in my early years and was a friend. And then when the gym shut down during COVID, I couldn't train MMA all the time. All I would do, like I would wake up, I would work out, and really early workout, and then I would work all day, work out again at night. As an MMA fighter, like you're training like at least 10 sessions a week, especially if you're planning to actively be ready to cut weight and get fights. So it was just real estate and MMA. I was planting those seeds. I knew I was gonna harvest those seeds. And so as COVID hit and shut down the gyms, I started spearfishing with her husband. So that's another talent that I learned during COVID. And that was so fun. And after we'd catch fish, we'd go to her house, make some fresh sushi. It was so exciting. And so I'd hang out with Sarah. She was overselling LuLaRoe. She was an entrepreneur herself. She was doing Facebook Live and selling hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of leggings, like super impressive. And shortly after that year of COVID, I got pregnant with Gianna, and I was tired in my pregnancy. I was tired a lot, so I asked Sarah if she could help me. Well, she was looking for a change, and so I said, I don't know if I'm really building the team right now, but maybe you could be my assistant. So she started out with that. Then she got licensed, like lo and behold, so quick. And she started helping me show homes. And then after she'd do showings, I'm like, okay, I'll follow up with the client and I'll run like a comparable market analysis and see what they should offer and go over an offer with them. She's like, oh, no, we already talked about all that. Like, I got this done. And she just was a hard worker. And at this point, I hadn't really run across any hard workers like her. And so I was just like, oh, girl, you're not a team member. You're a business partner. So I started treating her like that from that time. And I knew at the level I was selling and to give the level of care and compassion that I wanted to give my clients, I think that I really needed somebody to help me handle the working hours. And so I love this quote: if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And I wanted to go far. I was looking at the long haul of this, making sure that I didn't cut corners with my clients and making sure that every single one of them felt like they were valued in that. I didn't want them to know that I was running 10, 15 transactions. I wanted them to feel like they were the only one. And the only way I could do that is have myself duplicated. So that's when Sarah came along, and it has been incredible. We actually rebranded when we moved to EXP in November 2022 as business partners. So, when you work with us, you'll get two of us, which is so amazing. We are the face of the business. We're Epic Hawaii Homes. If you look us up on Instagram. Yeah, it's just been incredible. I love there's so many things that happen in real estate, and I know some of y'all are husband and wife teams, and you just want to sometimes just be able to share how your day went about real estate without maybe sometimes annoying your spouse too much about every little thing. So it's nice to do that and tag team each other with clients. It's so fun. I love it. Like, I love selling real estate.
Awesome. Last question. Can you guys see why Tina does so well? Yeah. And you're looking at me like, how does he sell any homes? I don't know. That is a good question. But a lot of agents get stuck in the 10 to 20 homes a year range. That's really common, by the way. Like 2 to 3, 4 homes, 10 to 20 is really hard to get past 10 or 20. So how do you go from 20? Let's talk about. We see your bullet points, but talk about like practically how do you go from 20 to 100 homes a year?
I don't do it alone. I gave Sarah a lot of the credit there, but we have an admin, we've got social media, we have a small team behind the computer as well, and we all do it together. It's truly all of us working together. I leverage time. Our systems are great, lots of automation. I'm actually going to dive into Phil's AI. I want to learn even more automation than I have. Staying consistent, the time blocking.
Let's be really, really practically, though. Who is working for you besides Sarah? Sarah's doing what? And who else is doing what?
So Sarah's my business partner. We do buyer consults, either one or both of us, and same with listing presentations. And then we do have an admin. And then we did have 2 social media gals, but we're kind of transitioning that. We're growing a little bit more right now. We are in the process of hiring a listing coordinator because, my listings checklist is, I think, 78 things to do for every listing. So I could use a little help there because our admin has been with us for a few years, but I think she's got a lot on her plate. So
Is
we're
it
trying to.
is it a live U.S. based admin or
Yes,
virtual?
yes. We tried the virtual assistants last year, and I thought that was great, and it can work great for a lot of people. But we like the camaraderie of having the team and meeting
Yeah.
together and working together.
I don't like VAs, virtual assistants.
Yeah, I think they work great for a lot of people. Different
don't.
personalities, different strokes for different folks.
I think they're terrible always. You get $5 an hour, you get what you pay for. And I applaud you for trying it. You tried it. You found that the quality was not as high as what you do, because your work is always really high quality.
Yeah.
And so you went and hired
it's-
who, from where?
Oh, well, we've had Laura with us for a long time. She's been amazing. So we still had her. And I mean, we're still trying and doing things to actively find what we need. But as we grow and scale, leveraging is really important. So that's why we're looking for somebody to help out with the listings, because Laura already works a lot of hours. So we're like, okay, we're growing. We need to grow our team. So that's where we're at right now.
Who's your mentor? He says you have a mentor.
Yeah, so I do have a life coach, and he meets with Sarah and I every other week, and then he meets with us individually as well every other week, and it's great. His name is Matt Dela Cruz,
Yep.
and he's with the Winning Minds, and he's just really great. It's not like a real estate coach. I have done real estate coaching like Tom Ferry before, but he's more of a lifestyle coach, making sure that you have a well-balanced
Faith-based
life.
guy.
Yes,
Christian
faith-based guy, and just trying to help with overall the work-life balance, because you can have an amazing real estate career without sacrificing your family life, and you can have an amazing family life without sacrificing your career, and you just have to believe it and apply the right things. And I think having not just having accountability, you'll see I put welcome accountability, because everyone says they want accountability, but then when it comes time to people checking them, they may not want it anymore. So you need to be welcoming accountability into your life, taking the constructive criticism and taking that feedback and really sitting with it and being better.
Tina Gamble, you guys.